Hello, everyone. Welcome to another diary session of my Immigrant Diary. My name is Precious.
And my name is Wale. Um, it's good to see you again, Precious. Today we're going to be talking about something that can be challenging for everyone when they move to a new country. And this is something that is needed in every country. So we're going to be talking about the banking system and how you will open the steps to opening a new account in the United States. And this can apply pretty much to every state that you're going to be residing in. So Precious, what was your own experience like when you moved? I know you still have like a fresh memory, so share with us what was it like opening a bank account?
So mine was pretty straightforward. A few blocks from where I live, we have two banks. One of the old generation bank, and another not old generation bank. But so I thought, you know what, I'll just walk in there and open a bank account, because I just landed a few couple of weeks. So I walked in there and I asked, and I realized that I needed to book an appointment before showing up. I'm like, what? I'm here already. Come on. Well, sorry, sir. All of our appointments are booked. So among some of the things I learned moving to the US is you got to book an appointment for almost everything you have to, go and for every every appointment you have to make, or every government parastatal, private, otherwise that you need to visit, you most likely need to book an appointment before you show up, right? So I learned that day. Then so yes, I booked an appointment, and I was told to come with a couple of documents, and I didn't have some of them. I was told to come with my ID, um, proof of residence, social security, tax ID if you have either both or either. At that time, I had no tax ID because I just landed, so I didn't really.
Wait.
Uh,
So I assume your ID should show proof of residence. So they still wanted you to provide like a combination of both.
yeah, they need proof that you live in the address you provide. Proof like I'll cite examples like your utility bill, your rental agreement, if you own the property documents, just to prove that you live in that address. Although one of the thing I learned quickly in trying to prove address, because I just moved, I have no lease agreement. My name was not in the bill where I live because I just moved a few days actually, and so there were options that I had, and one of the options was to sign up for post office.
USPS.
USPS to sign up for informed delivery, because with informed delivery, the post office will send a physical letter to your home, or my sent a physical letter to my home, which became a proof, one of the proof, because I needed two proofs, right? So that became one because if you receive that mail, it proved that, of course, it's proof that you did sign up for informed delivery and you got that mail from the post office. So that's one proof. The other proof I used was to get my host, you know, which in this case my spouse, to add my name to the utility bill. So we added my information to the utility bill, and that became the two documents, because they require two documents for most banks. They require two documents, but I mean, and for most old generation bank, I know the newer generation bank, newer banks, online banks and the like. I don't know. I think might be one, might be two. I'm not sure, but
Yeah,
I'm almost certain that most of the banks like.
it's more of from my experience, they require some sort of identification. Also, that includes proof of residence. So they have a list of documents that they will accept. For in my case, the document that they wanted from me was my. So I sent them my passport, including my visa, my residential visa, and everything. It wasn't enough, so they wanted like something like a state issued ID, either my state ID from Washington or my green card, basically. Or just my residence card. It doesn't really matter whether it's green card or anything that you have. So I couldn't open with an online bank that way because I didn't have those documents at the time. So for you, they ask for something like an informed mail registration. So you receive an email to show proof that you're living here, plus your name or the utility bill, your social security. Is there any other thing that you ask for?
Yeah. So although if you have a state ID, or you already have your driving license, your driver's license, you probably have your address listed on those IDs. So that can also serve as proof of residence. But like I said, in my case, I just landed. It was like the first week or so. So yeah, so I provided those documents, and when I went in for my appointment, they were able to set up an account for me. Interestingly, they also tried to set up a you know credit card um, application for me that same day. But I mean, that's a discussion for another day. You have that option because I did I should have mentioned the bank in this case is Bank of America, right? But when I went to Bank of America, I checked other banks like Chase, Wells Fargo, just to. But because Bank of America was very close to me, I was settling in. I didn't have means of transportation. I didn't have a car at the time, and transportation in the county where I live is not the easiest to go by. So I wanted a bank I can easily walk to. Now, but one thing I like to mention that I learned after I opened the account is Bank of America require you to have. They will charge you get charged monthly on the account. So for checking account or savings account, if you want to open either of them, but you get charged on the checking account. You get charged monthly. They have a list of options to avoid those charges if you have a direct deposit. So this is direct deposit from a job, or if you're an independent contractor, or you work for yourself. If you get direct deposit of 1,500 in the account, then that will lift the charge. Or if you're younger than 18 or a student, I think that will lift the charge. But they charge me 4.9 monthly if I have less than 1,500 in the account. And also, if the money doesn't come in from a direct deposit, they will, irrespective of how much I have, they will charge that account. But other banks like in Chase, and a few other banks, I'm not certain, uh, but which other banks? But some banks like Chase, Wells Fargo, they only require you to have a minimum balance of $500, right? To avoid the charge on your account. So I'm sharing this, for those out there to, consider that, because right now it's been a couple of months, and I feel every time I see that charge, I'm like, come on, man, these things will quickly add up in 1 year, in 2 years, in 3 years. But you can avoid it actually when you start getting, direct deposit. But in America, average American live paycheck to paycheck, right? So if that is true, it is almost impossible for most people to have 1,500 in their account, right? So that would be my opinion on choosing which bank to open an account. But I just wanted to share the process of how I opened my account. But how about you? I think you did online, or how did you go? What did you
Yeah,
go with
so
your
I
account?
started with trying online. So for me, I didn't want to pay any kind of charge to any bank because I know that, like, I'm keeping my money with them. They're using my money for business, and they're going to charge me on top. I wanted to avoid all that. So I was looking for a bank that would give me value. I will also give me decent amount of interest, even if it's not that big, but anything on the value. So I started look. That's why I started looking at online banks, and I quickly found out that I didn't have the identification that they needed. So I kind of just stopped there, and then I started looking at credit unions. So credit unions, the difference between those and traditional banks is that, like, it's a bank. At least the idea is that it's a bank by the people for the people, sort of a democratized bank, something like that. So basically, when you join a credit union or when you open an account with a credit union, you are a shareholder. You own a part of that bank. So you have a say in
Oh,
direction, the business that you invest in, and stuff like that. So I like the idea. I liked the idea of a bank that is for the community, that is not just for profit. So that's one of the reasons why I was motivated to join a credit union. Then I went to the credit union. As for I guess it's one of the other difference also. Like, all the credit unions offices or branches I've been in, you can just walking, and they have spaces for slots for walking compared to like your experience where you have to book an appointment. So yes, you can book an appointment also with them, but they definitely have slots for walk-ins, at least in my experience. So I went there, inquired. They also said that I needed like an ID. So I already planned I was going to get my driver's license anyway. I already had a plan for that. So, but the other option I could have easily done was to get a state ID. I'll pay what, like 70, $80 to get a state ID, which will include my address on it, and I can easily open an account with that. But for me, my goal was I wanted to, get a driver's license, and I will use that to open accounts, and that's what I did. So like a month or so after preparing, scheduling for the exam, getting my driver license, I went back, opened the account, and it was no problem. So that's how I was able to open my credit union account. Since then, I've had other online bank accounts because they have like better interest rates. For example, 3%, 4%, 5% interest rates. So you can, I have some accounts like that. I have like a couple of credit unions because sometimes you might not find the service that you want in a particular credit union, and you can still explore other options, see what works best for you. So in short, for me, the most important thing is the means, so a document that basically shows proof of address. In my case was the ID, the driver's license that I eventually got that I now use to open an account with my credit union. Of course, they will ask for your social security. I think, your social security is also important, but typically when you move, your social security will come before your identification document. Yes. So technically, you can use, without your identification document, for example, with your utility bill, you can open an account. But the most important things are two things rather: your social security and also your ID or your proof of residence. So once you have those two, you can pretty much open an account with any financial institution. So
that's right.
That was my experience. You have a question?
No, that's right. I say well spoken. But just something different from what you mentioned is while in Maryland, when I went to the bank, I didn't, like you mentioned, your ID was accepted, or mine was accepted. I used my Nigerian passport with a visa in it, and that was accepted. I wasn't required to provide any other proof of identification.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I think it makes sense. Yeah, using that in conjunction with your utility information, your name on your utility bill or on bill.
Yes.
Okay. So that would make sense.
All right, so that's it. That's good. So I hope we'll provide any some form of guide in helping new immigrants open account. If you have questions or you require some clarity, you can drop us a chat in the comment section. You can drop a comment, and we'll surely respond and provide you any information or support you need. All right. Thank you very much.
Also, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. We're trying to grow our channel as soon as possible, and this is going to help us a ton, and it costs nothing. It costs you nothing. So thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next episode of my Immigrant Diary. Have a nice day.
All right.